Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Breathing in through our noses and out through our mouths. Deep, long breaths. Feel that power of you controlling your breathing. Feel that power of you keeping your back straight and your eyes closed, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's slightly painful. That's your true power. That's your determination. So use that power here, now, and forever. And see in your mind today how you will do when that music goes on as we work in the gym of life. But you gotta see it in your mind right now if you want to bring it out into the world. See yourself doing the best you can on all the stretches or exercises that we choose and do together here today, right here, right now, wherever we are. Because you were born to do that. You were born to use your determination to see in your mind what you want to create and then make real as you open your eyes and live your life. Good morning, guys. Today we're introduced to Will Smith, and he shares with us one of the things that has helped him so much, and it is the idea of living a life of service. And he goes on to tell us that it's the purest form of joy anyone can experience. And another thing he reminds us of is the fact that we are meant to serve at least one other person. We're meant to be shared, as we are all each part of the same thing, that source that we all come from. So think about your life today. How many people are you going to serve? Or how many people do you affect through your daily actions, and even deeper through your choices, and even deeper through your thoughts? So remember today, as you go on about your day, as you prepare for it, you are going to be in service, whether you know it or not, of at least one other person, just through your thoughts and actions. Have a great morning, everyone.
People in productivity always ask the first question. They say, well, Brendan, how do I evaluate things? Because I'm a productive person, but you know what happens to me is I keep getting distracted, or I don't know which one to do. I've got two good options. I'm not sure which one to do. I'll share with you my shorthand. I got two frameworks that help me every single time. They're like back of napkins, things I can do that really help me decide between two different things, because I get offers all the time, as you can imagine. I'm like, it can be overwhelming. And so here's how I do it. Future value plus L. Oh, yeah, plus PD. Okay. This is my magical shorthand that helps me so much. The terms of any deal has to be less than ROI plus FV plus L plus PD. Okay, next up. Just checking if you're here. It's a super simple one. Okay, I got option A or option B. I'm gonna run them both through this equation, and whichever one wins is the one I'm most likely to choose. And if they're really close, I'll run them through the second framework I'm gonna show you. So the first one is easy. Time, energy, resources, money. This means the terms of any deal have to be less than. So in other words, what I put into something, whatever I put into something has to be less than what I think I'm gonna get out. How many follow? Very utilitarian, right? Very utilitarian value here. If I'm gonna put a bunch of stuff in, I better get more out, okay? And what I found is if I have a deal and I'm gonna put a bunch of time into it, or energy, or resources, or money, I better get more out of it. But what my magical thing was the S. This is the one no one ever thinks about, and everyone screws up, and they make a lot of decisions. A lot of utilitarian-minded people, very logical, strategic people, make decisions based on time, energy, resources, money, and they forgot the S in the equation, and you have too. Think about every bad decision you ever chose versus something else. You said, I wish I wouldn't have done that. You just did not consider this thing called sanity. How much time, energy, resources, money, and sanity am I gonna have to put into this thing? And I really gotta think about that, because how many of you ever did a deal with something where it literally, you had to work with someone who drove you insane? Great money, great output, but the input of my own sanity, it would have driven me crazy. Entrepreneurs make this mistake especially all the time. You don't think about how much craziness is gonna go into something. You just get attracted to the time, energy, resources, money. You're not thinking about the lifestyle or the community or other things that could really shape how sane it is, right? That's one thing I'm proud about with what we do with CHPC, is like, we make this a very sane, calming, comforting community. We step by step it, it's not scary, because I think a lot of other people, it's just easy to get attracted to things that drive you insane. And I think it's important for you all to care about your sane so you can bring the, yes, okay. So whatever time, energy, resource, money, and sanity I put into something has to be, this is less than sign. I learned that in math once. Has to be less than what I get out of it in terms of ROI. You know what that means? Return on investment. So this is a straight 1-to-1. Whatever I put into it, I better get that out in investment. I better get that out. It better save me some time, build my energy, build my resources or my money, or I don't want to do it. That's straight up return on investment. And then FV is where most people fail to have strategy. FV stands for future value. Never do anything just for ROI. This is where they wreck kids in business school. They wreck them because we're still teaching straight up balance sheet mentality in the world. That's why our relationships are wrecked, because we're trying to have a balance sheet scorecard with our spouse. We're trying to equate things out with our spouses. How's that working for you? And so we start ruining our relationships because we are trying to get that balance sheet just even. And in real life, we want future value built into deals. I want you, if you're gonna do something, I want you to be able to look out and say, wow, that's gonna benefit me in 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. Like I can see how that piece right now, that's gonna be a building block that's gonna serve me later on. And if you can't see that, whatever deal you're doing as a stepping stone, don't do the deal. And especially don't get trapped in the idea of thinking whatever deal you're gonna do is a final stepping stone. Because a lot of people, especially when you're starting, you're like, that deal will change my life. That's it. That's all I need. I'll be good for life. That means your short-term survival thinking, not strategic growth thinking. When you start thinking about future value, you make very different decisions. Very, very different decisions. It makes you write different books. It makes you build different programs. It changes the way you sell. It changes the products that you build in your company. You got to go back to future value thinking, including every little thing that you do. If you hire people, don't hire people to fill in a short-term need. Hire future value players. Can I get an amen on a Sunday? Right? Don't go out with somebody just because they're just there. Date future value people. Don't have short-term friends just because you need to lean on somebody who's a complainer. Create friendships with future value people. Your job is to always be honoring and protecting and standing at the gates as guard and champion of your future. Everyone raise your right hand, say, my future matters. My future matters. So I have to be strategic. So I have to be strategic. The way to be productive is to be more strategic. The way to be productive is to do the things that add future value. You got to look past the short term, go for the long-term plays, and the long-term value will change your life. Then if entrepreneurs typically suck at sanity in their evaluations, then on the other side, they always fail on the big L. Lifestyle. They'll take the deal because it's good time. It's energy. It's making a lot of money. It's not too crazy. It's not too crazy. I can handle it, but they're not thinking on the other side, boy, if I say yes to that, that means I'm gonna be working 20 more hours a week. Who's ever said yes to something that made you work 20 or 30 or 40 more hours a week and you didn't anticipate it? Yeah, I've been there too. And listen, is that related to your productivity, yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah. When you make decisions and you're not looking at the future value or thinking lifestyle, no wonder your short-term productivity is wrecked. Because you said yes or jumped into something that wasn't your thing. It wasn't of your character. It wasn't who you are. It wasn't the lifestyle you wanted to be. It wasn't who you wanted to become. And that's because you didn't take into account personal development either. You can't keep saying yes or keep evaluating things in like, well, that sounds good. Just because it's good, does it serve who you want to become?
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember, you go,
That was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.
Good afternoon, guys. You know, when we really become aware of just how powerful we are in our thoughts, our choices, and our actions, and when we understand that we are meant to serve more than just ourselves, we become extremely powerful and effective in all our relationships. And relationships are the things that will determine our emotional well-being, even our physical well-being, because we're also connected. So when we go on this path to understand and live a life that is more than just for ourselves, we start to really become more and more humble and reverent to the fact that we are so important to each other. But then we start to realize just the pure joy of just being our best selves and developing ourselves with that purpose. So we have to show that determination each and every choice we make. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Morning routines are one of the most important things that you can create in your life. And the reason is when you start the day, if you get early momentum going, the rest of the day is often going to follow in that. It's an idea called entropy. Everything moves towards chaos. And the only way to combat that is to put energy into the system. You are not going to wake up and randomly have a good day. You're going to have to structure your day in a way that sets you up to overcome all of the entropy, all of that chaos, all of the 1,000 things going to come at you on a daily basis that are going to knock you off course. And the easiest way to do that is to have a routine that you follow every morning, so you don't have to think about it, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you don't have to wonder or think about what you should be doing. It's just right there. It is baked into the routine. By doing that, now you can actually accomplish the most important things first. The thing to doing your morning routine well is to optimize for what Tim Ferriss refers to as the lead domino. What's the thing that if I did this, it's going to make everything else easier down the road? So number one, a morning routine actually starts the night before. You want to get plenty of sleep. Why? Because that's going to optimize your cognition. The next thing you want to do is either meditate or work out. Typically, I will work out first. The reason that I work out is because it optimizes your cognition so that everything else is going to get easier. It also dramatically impacts your energy levels. Talk about two things that are incredible lead dominoes. If I'm getting sleep and optimizing my cognition, if I'm working out and optimizing my cognition, and I'm making sure that I have the energy levels that I need to get things done, now I'm really making sure that everything that I do after that is easier.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because in my first business, I was making $300 a month. I quit on my business partner, and the thing that saved me was studying the stories of super successful entrepreneurs. So I hope that this story today helps give you the motivation you need, because I still need it too myself. So today, let's live your best belief life and learn some powerful morning routines to activate your beast mode.
The next thing that I do is meditate. Why? Because it optimizes your cognition. You want to make sure that you're getting all of your background radiation, the stress, the anxiety. You want to get that as close to zero as you can. That way, you can think clearly. You get into what I call a calm and creative state, so that areas of your brain that don't often communicate are able to communicate, get better ideas that way. Again, lead domino, improving your cognition, lowering your stress levels, making sure that you're centered and that you've got that energy to move forward. Then I'm going to go down my list of important things. I make that list the day before, so I know exactly what I should be doing at any one time. And again, it's a lead domino strategy. The first thing that I'm going to do is going to be the thing that makes everything else on my list easier. I'm going to do everything that I can do on the most important thing. And by the way, they should always be rank ordered. There is no such thing as a tie. There is a number one, a number two, a number three, a number four, so on and so forth. There is not two number ones. There's not two number twos. There is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. I do everything that I can do on number one Once that's now where I'm waiting for something else, or I just have to let it bake, whatever, then I'm gonna move on to number 2. I'm gonna do everything I can on number 2. Then I'm gonna move on to number 3. If you set your day up like that and you're not checking your phone and you're not responding to other people because that's letting them control your schedule, and what are the odds that somebody other than you knows better what you should be doing to make your goals come true than you? The answer should be 0, because if somebody else knows better than you, we already have a problem. It means that somebody else is paying more attention to your own life than you are. That would be problematic. Get that morning routine down, get that momentum going, do the lead domino strategy, make sure you're optimizing for energy and cognition. Absolutely critical.
Routine number 2 is high five your heart with Mel Robbins.
One of the things that I learned in researching the book, The High Five Habit, which was freaking news to me, Chase, but once you have somebody unpack it, you're like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. It is research from a woman who was at UCLA for a long time, one of the leading neuroscientists in the world. She studies the brain and what it takes for the brain to learn, to change, to create. And one of the things that she discovered is the connection between your nervous system and your brain's ability to function as it's designed. And to just really dumb it down, mostly for myself, this is how I've boiled down what she talks about. So your nervous system trumps your brain. And when you are in a state of stress or anxiety or uncertainty, and your nervous system gets locked into a fight or flight response, which is what everybody is in. There's no way, I mean, your wife may not be there because she is an expert in meditation. She's a practitioner, so she has daily practices that help her flip off what's called the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight, anxiety, on edge. Oh, how am I paying the bills? What's happening in politics? Gas prices are now crazy. When are we getting off Zoom? Are the kids going back to school? Do I have to wear a mask? Do I need a booster? Like all of that you're processing that makes your nervous system fire up like alarm, alarm, alarm. That's your sympathetic nervous system. If you don't switch that sucker off and flip on the other nervous system, you got 2 nervous systems, sympathetic, parasympathetic. Parasympathetic is your resting nervous system. It's your grounded, calm. It's the nervous system that's in play when you're in flow, being creative. It's what it feels like when you're grounded in your body and you're okay and you feel okay. And so what I learned from Dr. Judith Willis is that when your sympathetic fight or flight nervous system is running the show, your brain doesn't work properly because the alarm system takes over. And I can explain this using a very simple example. If all of a sudden the alarms went off in the studio that you're in and you smelled smoke, would you be able to solve a math problem? No.
No.
Of course not.
I'm out. I'm
You're
out.
Well, that's basically what it's been like for the last 2 years. The fire alarms are going off and your body, your nose smells smoke. And so your nervous system flips on an alarm. The reason why it's so hard to focus, the reason why you're exhausted by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the reason why you feel like you're one more thing away from checking yourself in and needing help is because your nervous system is just fried and it's impacting your ability to think clearly. And so there's a simple trick that you can use. And I know you've talked about the vagus nerve a lot on your show. Mm-hmm. It's a really important thing to understand. It's a treasure inside your body. The vagus nerve is a nerve that runs all the way from, your seat through every major organ, your vocal cords, all the way up to the top of your head. And the vagus nerve is the on-off switch between your nervous system and your I got this nervous system. And so a simple thing that you can do And I want everybody to do this at the beginning of their day. And the reason why I want you to do it at the beginning of your day is because I guarantee you, particularly because you're in business for yourself, you're waking up on edge. Your cortisol levels, the stress hormone, are the highest first thing in the morning. And so when you wake up and you're already on edge, feeling like, oh my God, how am I going to get through the day? How am I going to pay my bills? You're rattled, you're thinking, you're worried, your cortisol levels are high. That means your nervous system, your alarm system is already ringing. So we got to flip the switch and turn off the alarm before you start your day so that your brain can focus and work for you. So the way you're going to do this, I call this high-fiving your heart. We're going to press in the center of your body, and that's going to kind of right by your heart, it's going to press on your vagus nerve. That's where the on-off switch is. And I'm going to teach you to manually flip the switch and to turn off the alarm system and to turn on the calm, grounded, creative nervous system that's going to help you get back into a state of flow and help you be more strategic, because right now is the most extraordinary moment in time for you as a business owner, I believe, and for a creator. So as you're pressing right here, you're just going to take a deep breath. Go ahead. And now I want you to say these 3 sentences. I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
I'm loved.
I'm loved.
That's it. And most mornings, I need to do it about 23 times. No, I'm serious. Like what
I know,
happened?
but I love that about you though. Like you're like 23 times. Like no exact like
Well, you know when it's
I know.
when you can stop because you actually have a sensation of the rattle
regulation,
settling,
yeah.
and you come back into your body. And I didn't realize until I learned how to turn off the alarm and turn on that cool rested state that my default for as long as I can remember, Chase, has been alarm mode. That I have been running so fast, mostly away from things, that I did not comprehend just how dysregulated my nervous system was. And, you know, I think it's really challenging for creatives like you and me and everybody listening. You know, and even if you're a small business owner and you don't consider yourself a creative and an artist, your business is your art. And as a, you know, small business owner, you're creating something. I didn't like slowing down is terrifying when you're creative because there can be this manic, stressed out energy that's part of the creative process. And so it was very foreign to me during the pandemic to not be able to run somewhere. I mean, I literally could not go to get a cup of coffee or go to catch a flight or run to Target to run an errand, which I didn't realize was how I was kind of managing all of this dysregulated kind of survival mode energy. But learning how to stand in that frenzy, put my hands on my heart and bring myself back into my body so that I could leverage the intense and incredible power of my brain and be strategic instead of reactive and be confident instead of like chaotic. It's been life-changing. And so I believe that, look, you know, will putting your hands on your heart take away your problems? No, it won't change the circumstances you're dealing with. But what it does is it changes you from the inside out and changes your ability to be calm and to be confident and to be clear-minded and intentional about how you face those things. And
Let's go. Después de 3 canciones seguía, analizando la movida. No sale si está de día, quiere hanguear, es su estilo de vida. No le gustan principiantes, que sean calle pero elegantes. Perreamos hasta que tú y yo no aguante. Yo pedí un trago y ella la botella. Abusa siempre que estoy con ella. Oh yeah, hazle caso si no te estrellas. Qué problema es culpa de ella. Yo pedí un trago y ella baila pa' que suena el rebote. Pide whisky hasta que se agote. Si lo prende exige que rote. Bailando así vas a hacer que no bote. Nena, seguro que al llegar fuiste la primera. En la cama siempre tú te exageras. Si te quieres ir pues nos vamos cuando quieras, girl. Nena, seguro que al llegar fuiste la primera. En la cama siempre tú te exageras. Yo pedí un trago y ella la botella. Abusa siempre que estoy con ella. Oh yeah, hazle caso si no te estrellas. Qué problema es culpa de ella. Yo pedí un trago y ella la botella. Abusa siempre que estoy con ella. Oh yeah, hazle caso si no te estrellas. Qué problema es culpa de ella. Yo pedí un trago y ella me robó. A su casa me invitó, de repente me jaló y para el cuarto me llevó. De lo que hicimos no me acuerdo y pa' hacerme loco sé que soy experto. Me tienes soñando despierto, volando sin aeropuerto. Y por cosas de la vida terminé echando bebidas en tu cuerpo. Nena, seguro que al llegar fuiste la primera. En la cama siempre tú te exageras. Si te quieres ir pues nos vamos cuando quieras, girl. Nena, seguro que al llegar fuiste la primera. En la cama siempre tú te exageras. Yo pedí un trago y ella la botella. Abusa siempre que estoy con ella. Oh yeah, hazle caso si no te estrellas. Qué problema es culpa de ella. Yo pedí un trago y ella Sky. Estamos rompiendo, no estamos rompiendo, muchachos. Y seguimos rompiendo. Global. Perreando. Chipame. Let go, let go.
Good evening, guys. I want to share with you a story that highlights the importance of us having a sense of possessing ourselves before we're able to share and service others. And I want to share a story that comes from Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He gives an example where his daughter, when she was young, had received a gift from others for her birthday. And she didn't want to share her toy, her new gift, with those people that had bought it for her. And you could see him getting very frustrated as it went on and she wouldn't share. But in the end, she simply was demonstrating the fact that she needed to feel that sense of possessing the thing first before she was ready to share it. So those of you that are parents can probably relate to young children. They don't want to share until they feel that sense of it's mine first. So we have to be like that with ourselves. We got to possess ourselves before we share ourselves. Have a great evening, everyone.
I told my wife when I got with her, I said, look, I'll do anything for you except one thing. I will not give up on that dream. If I got to surrender my dream, I'd rather be alone. Because if I abandon my dream, I'll abandon you. I truly believe that. I see so many people, man, they give up their dream for the wife. They give up their dream for the husband. And then the wife and the husband get together and they have kids and then they give up their dream again because of the kids. And I said, the day we have kids, we cannot blame the kids for not going after our potential and our dreams. If we ever have kids when we were getting together. And she wasn't ready to have kids. She wasn't even ready for me. So I knew she was the right person for me. And I'm like, look, I'll give you anything. Monogamy, I'll never cheat on you. I'll never jack around on you. I'll take care of you. I'll provide you with a life that you can only dream of. This was 12 years ago. I mean, this is way before Grant really hit full Grant, and which she's really added to and made it easier. But I said, look, if I got to be less than who I'm meant to be with you, can't give you that. I said, I got books in me. I'm going to do the biggest events in the world. I'm going to do a TV show. I will be known by millions, if not billions of people, and I will leave a legacy. That has been with me before I ever met you.
Here we are again, ending the way we begun today together. Knowing the truth, though, that nothing ever ends, nothing is ever over. Determination is never over, never done. Because we are an energy. We are one energy. The way we take control of our breathing in this moment, the way we did our best today on all the exercises and stretches we did, that's the same way, same process we can use to make the best decisions. No, not decisions, determinations. Positive choices, loving choices, peaceful, grateful, mind healthy, mind wealthy. Choices, determinations. We don't choose and lose. We determine and win. Just like we won again today, here, right now.